Hey there, my name is Konstantin. I'm a full stack developer, and in this video I'm going to continue porting my small vanilla JS application to Solid.js. Let me open the developer console here. We have some application skeleton generated last time with Solid.js template through white. And it has some basic configuration. It has some main logic, business logic code here. Also some images here in public. It has some document template with some settings and icons connected. So now I'm going to continue moving some code from the old application to the new one. I think I would start from moving some meta information from package.json to the new application. Let me copy some stuff and move it to the new package.json. We don't need private true here because we are going to open source this application the same way it's open source. The original one is open source, so under MIT license. So I will just replace it here, edit version and description, which is important for publishing this application later on to the NPM registry. And keywords, author and license also necessary. I will copy this information to the bottom of the file because it's not that important from the development point of view. Yep, I think we are okay with package.json. We don't need much except maybe for Prettier here. I'd like to copy Prettier command from the package.json, and also we would need config files for Prettier. Let me rename this command to format, and let me copy Prettier config to the new application. Prettier ignore and Prettier config. Let's put it to the root of the application folder. Let's check the Prettier ignore folders. I think we should be okay here. And also here my opinionated defaults, we should be fine with them. Okay, let's continue then. Let me open the main app file, app component. Here we have an on-mount hook provided by Solid.js, which runs the following code on application load. And as you may see, the current date is generated just once on the application start. We may need actually to update this date later, because when you cache the application with service worker as a progressive web application, this information can remain unchanged because service worker actually cached the main template and the files, JavaScript files. So let me move this line to the main function, the on-mount handler, and create signal. The Solid.js has a concept of signals. Signals are used for storing information, for updating information, and reacting to updates of this information. So Solid.js only updates information through signals mostly. So let me create a signal for current date. I call it cDate to not force me to rename the function, because current date function has its name and it's good. Let me keep it this way. I will just use different name for the variable, for the signal. Okay, let me set the type string and use current date function call as a default value for the signal. Second, I'm going to include it from the Solid.js. Yes, it's good. It doesn't complain. And let me update this current date on mount. Set C date. Yep, this should be good. And now we are going to use this C date signal inside our template. Remember, we need to use the signals and other stuff provided by and supported by the Solid.js library as function. Let me run this application and see that the current date is actually generated and rendered. Sorry, made a mistake. Corrected it now. Okay. So we can see that the current date is rendered here, which is good, which is what we wanted to achieve. Now, if you take a look at the original application, we can see the new moon and full moon dates rendered at the bottom of the page. And for some reason here, the styles are not applied. Let us fix the styles first and then render the dates at the bottom. Let me check why the styles are not applied. I'm gonna open the index.html with my app shell here, and I see that the body has display flex, which is good. It also has height 100 viewpoint height, which is good. And yeah, what we don't have here is that we now have a child element root, which also needs similar styles as body, because now body is not the main container of our application. So we can just add root here and hope that it works. Yes, as you may see, some styles are applied, and you may see that a bit different layout here. Let's keep it for now. I will improve it later. And okay, the application CSS is empty. The root, okay. Actually, we need application styles to be copied from previous application, from the old application. Let me copy these styles to the application CSS. It should be enough. I will remove this comment because now we have components and they now know what the styles is about and what elements they actually decorate. Here obviously we decorate application layout, application elements, so the application CSS has the styles applied to the application elements. Let me reload the app. It's not necessary actually because white already reloaded, and you may see that the current date becomes a little bit light blue, and the position of elements changed, which is good, which is what we wanted to achieve. Let us continue then. What else we can do for this application? I think I would extract this logic to a separate render function, because when we will need to update the information on the page, not only on application mount, on mount of this component, but also because of the different events, we will need to call some function, right? So let's create a render function. The render function is going to have the copy it from my buffer. I will just copy it from here and use this render function here. Hopefully it's enough to do the same. Yes, basically it works. What else can they do? And now, as I already mentioned, the only thing which is lacking here that we need to implement is these bottom dates, which are calculated by this function, and we have them here. We just don't use them, so we need to use them. And for that, I'm going to create a new signal. I'm going to call it dates and set dates accordingly. I'm thinking what's the best data structure for these dates. Let me start from an array of objects. First, I'm going to create an interface for the data items. Let's call it moon date, and I'm going to use prefixes for interfaces and types and enumerations and etc. because I like it. So every date should have its title and the date itself. Then let's declare title here. Title and date itself. So also string, because we are going to format this string the way we need. And here it's going to be an array of moon dates. Of course, it should not be there. Current date should not be there. It's good. I think we are almost ready to kind of fill in this data array with some information. Let me just make it this way. Just title. What's the title of the new moon? I think it's new moon. It's obvious, isn't it? And the date. For the date, I'm going to copy the formatting function which is used in in the render function here. Render date. Okay, and they have this formatting function here. I will just copy it and add to our utils module. Let me create a separate function for that and use the format for this particular section here, and I'm gonna call it the function something like next moon. Okay, let's call it format moon date to be more correct. Yep, should be date, JavaScript date. Should be okay for now. And here I'm going to use this function. Format moon date. And the date is the moon date, the new moon date, which is calculated on the previous step. I'm going to, sorry. Need to copy the entire item here. We'll just copy them all here and just change what I need. Full moon would have the full moon here. next new moon. I would have next new moon here, next new moon here. Good. Next full moon. Next full moon. I think we are good more or less now, so we can use the dates defined here in the template. For that, we have a new dates container, and we need to copy the data, the HTML structure from the previous code here. Yeah, title is gonna have title, and the date is gonna have the date. And also we need a container. How to call the container? Moon face. Okay. Obviously, class should be moon face here. And I'm going to wrap my data with in this element. Okay. Now we can iterate over the array we defined here and display the data. Dates, remember, for signals we need to use functions, and we can use map here, I think. Let's try at least moon face, and it's gonna be moon date. Yep, moon date. Let me call it maybe date, which is more precise name for it. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it to the brackets. Okay, let me use the moon date here for getting title and for getting date. Let me see what's happening and what's wrong here. I think we should be more or less okay. Maybe one bracket is not closed. Yes, that's right. That's correct. Let's see what they have on this in the screen. It's the original application, and this one is the new application. For some reason, it's not rendered here. And why is it so? Okay, let me see. Let me see the console. Maybe I made a mistake. Okay, it's invalid time value. It actually happens because the Loon library, which we use for calculating moon dates, next new moon dates, it actually, I think, it sometimes doesn't provide next full moon date. Or something like that. So for some reason it doesn't calculate it. So this item can be empty in some cases. So what I'm going to do now is just maybe to do some optimization in code here. I will just const date array. I will call it this way. It's a very dummy way of doing that, but let me at least start from something and then improve. Okay, date array, and let me check if the next full moon is set. It's not null. Then I will just push the last element, the next full moon element, to the array. I actually anticipated this issue to happen. That's why I am fixing it quite quickly. Yeah, and now we don't have error messages anymore, which is good. We also have our styles applied. We still have some problem with loading indicator and the moon phase, which should replace this loading indicator. What I'm going to do now is to use the control flow element. Let me find it here. It's gonna be something like show. This element would allow us to display some, or okay, better to say, render some elements, some components conditionally, depending on the value which is provided by when property. If it's true, then it provides it renders this part. If it's false, it renders loading indicator, which is very useful for us. Let me do similar stuff here. I will use show, and I will put the moon and the dates inside of it, because we can only display this information when we have data calculated for it, right? So and the loading indicator is what is used as a fallback for these elements. The only thing which is necessary here is the condition. And what can be a condition? Let me see what can be our condition. What if we just check the dates array if it's empty or not, and let's see if it works. Actually, if it has some length. Yeah, so if dates array is not empty, so it has some elements in it, then we can assume that the dates have been already generated, have been already calculated, and they can display information based on them, right? So let me see what happens in the screen. We don't see anything right now, but yeah, let's take a look at the developer console here. No, we don't have anything here yet. Okay, what's wrong here? Let me just maybe debug it a little bit. Okay, dates more than dates length more than. Okay. What if it's always true? I'm just interested if it will display the it actually displays the stuff if it's always true, but yeah, we need to make sure that everything is calculated. Okay, to do that I will just simplify stuff here. So I will just create a loading signal which would indicate whether the data has been loaded already or not. So it's probably not totally correct, but it should serve my purpose. Boolean false, or actually true. Yeah, let it be true. And here they set it to false. Yeah, we can use suspenses here, but yeah, it works a little bit differently compared to React. And yeah, I'm not going to complicate stuff here. Just let's keep it simple for now. Transfer the application logic almost as is. Transfer the application styling and the application layout as is, and then we will be able to iterate over it to improve it, right? So let me use loading here, and Yeah, of course, as a function, because it's a signal. Yeah, and what's wrong? I don't know. Maybe I'm not very good at Solid yet. Yeah, we see loading, but we don't see anything else. Okay. And now we don't see actually data. Maybe my guess is we need to wrap it into a fragment. Yeah, but yeah, it's a stupid guess actually, but let's keep it as is. I'm not it's not clear yet what I'm doing wrong. Let's read some documentation here and see what can be improved here. Yeah. Okay, state count. Okay, good. That's good. That should be okay actually. Why is it so? Yeah, it's really bad. Okay. No. Okay, state user. Okay. And what if the loading? Okay, it's something that is not working for us for some reason, as well as other stuff. Let me try to use something else. Okay, actually, to be honest, let me just get rid of this show and try to use the normal condition, normal if condition here, and when it's loading, just display this component. I'm just curious why it's not working, because of my lack of my knowledge, of course, but yeah, what else? What I'm doing wrong? This is very strange. I mean, should be pretty straightforward to do that. Of course, we will find a solution. Just need to experiment with some stuff. Maybe that should help. No, doesn't work. Okay, doesn't work. It should render this stuff, right? But for some reason it doesn't render it, and I'm thinking what can be wrong here. I don't know. Okay, let me just get rid of this loading at all, because it's very quick. I mean, calculating out this stuff is very quick, and I think we can actually get rid of it. Something happens here with the signal, or not actually, yeah, create effect thing, which is inside this onMount hook, and I'm not yet sure how to use it. I will definitely investigate this stuff, but for now we don't need it actually. Let me just remove this stuff. It should be okay for now. Not ideal. We will find a solution later, but now on application load we have everything displayed here, and we have no warnings in the console. We can resize the application. Yeah, and it's going to be a responsive application as well. So I think we are good for now. I will try to investigate this issue and maybe find a solution. Otherwise, yeah, we can just go without it. Not that important, not that critical for now, to be honest. And yeah, we'll just remove this stuff for now and commit its changes, so you guys could see the changes on GitHub and maybe play around. if you'd like to also go through the same steps and maybe help me with finding a solution. If you find a solution, if you see what's the problem, if you see where my knowledge is actually not enough, so please let me know in comments. But yeah, for now we should be fine. We almost ported everything except, of course, the progressive web app part, except for the service worker, manifest, JSON, and some other stuff here, but more or less we are fine, and this application can be already used for the purpose it needs to be used. Thank you very much. See you next time. We will continue porting this application to Solid.js.